Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Motormouth, the show that keeps you updated with all forms of motorsport in the Eastern Cape. Well, we're moving out of the Eastern Cape this weekend, and we'll be heading up to Rynfield Dam for Formula One Powerboat action. Fantastic to have Formula Ones back out on the water, and they'll be racing at the East Rand Speedboat Club in Benoni on the Ibotsi Dam, Rynfield, or Ibotsi Dam as it's known now. Joining us in studio, we're going to have John Ross Duncan, we've got Keegan Frankovitz, and we've got Michael Vessels, who will be taking part in the event. Let's first find out from John Ross Duncan how things are going on his side. John Ross, I know we're having internet issues with John Ross. It looks like we've possibly frozen. I'm getting feedback in my ear the whole way. So once again, an internet issue. We maybe start with kick off with Keegan Frankovitz and Michael Vessels.
Sure.
Modern technology catches out once again. Good evening, gents, and welcome to Motormouth, the preview of the Rynfield Dam F1 Grand Prix.
Hi guys, looking forward to being there this weekend and having fun.
Racing at the East Rand Speedboat Club. We haven't raced there for a while. Michael, have you ever raced at Rynfield?
Yeah, the last time I raced there, actually, I think I won the race there, Keegan. And then I ended up rolling my boat. So I was trapped underneath, so I struggled to get out. So it was a bit scary. So a bit of bad memories from that place. But yeah, looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
But Michael, you come from an unusual background. We all know you as a motocross specialist, and almost a stuntman, doing lots of stunts and promos with motorcycle racing. And recently, having gone to Dakar, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, the Dakar, it's very tough, so it's not as glamorous as it looks from this side. Once you're there, it's a whole nother ball game. It's just sand, never-ending sand. Toilet paper's hard to find. The food is terrible. So sleeping conditions is like not really sleeping conditions. So some nights you sleep next to your toolbox. But all in all, it's a great experience, and it surely toughens one up, I'm sure. So you come back a new person, pretty much.
Yeah, you had the privilege of joining the Toyota Gazoo racing team and looking after Guy Bottrell's car, and Guy ended up winning the rookies class, 4th overall, and taking the rookie title. So that must have been a big celebration afterwards.
Yeah, and he was kind of like the underdog. He didn't have the biggest budget compared to the Red Bull guys, who got new tires every single stage. So he was running on second-hand tires, everyone's old tires. So he had to be super conservative. So he didn't have the edge compared to the other drivers. He didn't have all the new parts, being on a budget. And yet he did so well. So we're really proud of him. And we all celebrated pretty good afterwards. So it was an awesome event. And guys, he's got it together. He's very conservative, and he drives with his head. Very smart driver.
Yeah, just an all-round hell of a nice guy. Let's touch on your new venture now, the Formula One Powerboats. You've certainly taken like it to a duck to water and put in some good performances so far in the races that you have taken part in.
I think I get the experience from jet ski racing. I did win a few championships with jet ski racing and raced. I think I started jet ski racing when I was like 10 years old, and then raced pretty much my whole life. So it teaches you a lot to read water and lines and stuff. So, and you're basically bumping each other all the time. So I'm not scared to get close to people and, rub up against them. So I think it helped a lot. So, but I'm really liking the boats. And just be able to go so fast in the water. It's a whole different ball game and different experience. I mean, the smell of it, the noise of it, and the feel of it, there's nothing quite like it. It's quite amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. And then you had your first taste of racing in the sea down at St. Helena Bay a couple of weeks ago. That must have been a completely new experience for you down there.
Yeah, it was really awesome. That salt water just does a lot of damage to the engines. So it is a big learning curve. We're going to try watertight everything for the next race. But amazing. We had a good turnout, big crowd, a lot of spectators. And it was a tight circuit between the ships and stuff. So it was really awesome. I think it was my favorite race so far. Definitely looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, it's always nice racing in a working harbour because you get up close to lots and lots of spectators. And one thing that really blew me away about the St. Helena Bay race was the amount of spectators that they got through the gate. So people down there really enjoying the Formula One spectacle as it came to town.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we're hoping we have a good turnout at Botsi Dam. So I'm sure the sport, it's a good spectator sport. There's always action involved. Someone's going to flip or someone's going to roll most of the time. So, and it's a good spectator sport. So let's see, let's get a good turnout and hopefully we can market it and it can grow again to be as big as it was in the past.
Moving over to you, Keegan, we saw you putting in some brilliant performances as well and really flying that Baba Hull. You had the option of going out in both the DAC and the Baba Hull. And man, I know Peter Lindenberg commented on the way that you were turning that boat around the turnbuoys, certainly throwing it into the corners and handling it like an absolute pro.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great weekend with the boat. I really enjoyed the barber. We had a few issues, obviously, with the barber towards the end, but leading up to obviously the race, starting at the back, working my way up the field was great. I really enjoyed that boat, and it was great. It was just a bit challenging, obviously, in the last race with it being so rough. We're currently actually setting the boats up for a 2.5, so we're not going to be using that boat until next season. We'll just be running the DAC for this race. So,
yeah, a couple of guys now starting to move to the 2.5 motors. Ronan Dixon, one of them, and you can see an absolute dominant performance from him down at St. Helena Bay. And I just think as soon as the more seat time he has in that boat, he's going to be a very, very difficult man to catch. And he's got if I remember correctly, a 2-point lead over you in the 2024 championships.
Yeah, sure. But look, Ronan's doing very well in that new boat. I think this obviously was his second race in the boat at St. Helena. Guido obviously built the boat for the 2.5 at this high altitude, so it's a one-of-a-kind boat built for Ronan. He's doing phenomenal. It's really good to see him there in the front, and definitely going to be a big challenge, obviously, to beat him. But I think for the team, obviously, we just want to obviously get a good ranking score between the both of us, obviously, for the weekend. But phenomenal boat. The 2.5s obviously are the way to go. Reason being, obviously, because the 2 liters, you're not getting any space for them anymore from the gearboxes side. So we're obviously having to move over to the 2.5 gearboxes, and that's obviously going to be the way forward. So with what we have, we're using, and obviously in the new season, a lot of us would have moved to the 2.5s.
And the St. Helena Bay race, a good performance from Mornay Herald as well. Nice to have Mornay Herald back in the mix as well. And he's certainly impressed for an older driver. He certainly put in a good show down at St. Helena Bay.
Sure. Yeah, Mornay's no monkey in a boat. He can really drive a boat. He's obviously had a lot of experience. He's raced with Peter and with Vernon Smith and all the the legends. I think Patrick Lees as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he really knows what he's doing. For this weekend from his side, we're not underestimating him whatsoever. So it's definitely going to be a tough race. Michael's obviously got 2.5, and Mornay's getting more seat time. Obviously, that was his first race in that the new boat, and I know he's got a lot of tricks under the sleeve for this weekend. So it's going to be a tough one. Definitely worth watching the race, or being there, actually, in matter of fact.
You mentioned the legends of the sport. I didn't grow up racing against him. Mornay was one of my first major rivals when I started racing in 1994. I think it was racing Raven Wildcats in the Open, the SN 2000 class. And he had every trick up his sleeve with boat prep and prepping motors and that. And he certainly knows his way around a Formula One boat now. So fantastic to have him back on the water. We're going to go and try and move back to John Ross Duncan. I believe we have got John Ross back with us. Let's call him. He's disappeared again. So we'll carry on with Keegan. We'll carry on with you and Michael. How many boats? Okay, let's start. What time does the racing action start at Rynfield, and what classes can we expect to see running there?
Well, we're looking to start around 9 o'clock here. The event should open, gates will open. So we got the juniors running as well. I'm not sure if the little boats will be running. We've got the F30s. And then us will be the main highlight of the day. So we'll probably have a practice.
Sorry, the way I understood it, the GT10s, GT15s, Formula 30 is definitely running, and then obviously the F1. So 4 classes on the day, quite a compact day, only just racing on the Saturday. So practice in the morning, time trials, and then straight into 3 heats of action. So a really full day for the spectators to come out and enjoy.
Sure. Yeah, it'll definitely be worth being there. We've had actually quite a few phone calls this week, obviously asking about tickets and so on. So I think, of my understanding, everything will start basically. I think we start practice at 8:30 Formula Ones, and then I think our first qualifying session is at about 10:30. But obviously the main action will probably start on from 10:30 onwards. So.
And tell us, we were expecting to see Wynand de Jager, the man that's had experience on the F2 World Series, making a comeback to racing in South Africa. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen this weekend. Tell us what went down.
Yeah, so my dad was actually busy with the boats up until this week. The engine, everything was running, and boat obviously looked amazing. It's it's obviously the latest Baba in the country. I think it's a 2017 or 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And I had the opportunity to test the boat for my dad, for Wynand, and this week basically on the right sponsor and to laminate it. So unfortunately, Wynand won't be participating this weekend, but definitely looking forward to seeing him and having him on the water for the next race. It'll be great to have a driver with his experience and expertise on the water, with all the amounts of experience he's had in World Series. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's raced overseas for 5 years. So I think he would probably be the most experienced driver on the water, So. And
there's, I've been hearing all sorts of talks in the background that Paul Shepherd might be making a return to F1 Powerboat racing at some stage.
Yeah, so the last I spoke to Paul, he said that he would be participating towards the new season. Reason being, obviously, that I don't think he sees it's obviously viable for him to be racing, participating this season. And also his boat's going under construction in the sense of being rebuilt and fixed up. So that will only be completed in the new season, or by the new season, sorry.
And then set to make a return as well, Dylan Mulman. I mean, we haven't seen Dylan on the water for a while, but I believe he might be joining the action this weekend at Rynfield.
Yeah, so Dylan's boat just got resprayed. It's currently being assembled, so hopefully he'll be participating this weekend. Not too sure, obviously. It's obviously dependent on him, but yeah, looking forward to him being there.
And then another man from down Port Alfred and Port Elizabeth Way, Shay Parsons, set to race again. He's had a couple of big accidents lately in the boat, but always exciting to see him on the water because not scared to push it to the absolute limit and sometimes over.
Yeah, that's a good. I would say a good thing, but also a bad thing with Shay. He's not obviously afraid whatsoever. He's someone to look out for on the water in the sense of competitiveness. Like, he's very competitive, very fast, unpredictable. I think that's what makes him a great driver, more of the unpredictable side of him. But yeah, looking forward to having him at the next race. His gearbox unfortunately wasn't able to land in time, so yeah.
Let's just have a look if there's any comments coming on. We are live on Motormouth. We'll just have a look to see if anybody's put any comments while we try and sort out the link with John Ross Duncan. All right, I believe Paul is telling me that that John Ross is back. I don't see there's any comments have come through at this stage, so let's just see if we can link with John Ross Duncan once again. John Ross, you're back with us. All right, looks like he's possibly muted. We've got sound, but I mean, we've got picture, but no sound. Right.
Gone again.
Gone again. So I believe there are comments coming through on the F1, SA F1 Facebook page. Let's have a look there. Yeah, John Ross is in a rather unique boat that he's got. It's a Caldwell Marine boat that raced in the World Series. Keegan, you'll know more about that boat. Give us some info on that while I just have a look to see what comments have come through.
Yeah, so look, I might be mistaken on the age of the boats. I think they're 2013 boats. Actually, Michael himself is driving one currently. So I don't know if Brett and Paul drove those two boats. I don't know who drove what boat, but I know basically both of them were inboard boats, and my dad converted them to obviously the outboard setup. Obviously, they are new in the series, and a lot of obviously new things going in the sense of like developments on them. Obviously, trying to get them to their best performance. So, but very good boats, and they're very much like the Baba. So, very similar design.
Yeah, the boats were designed for the V6, Nissan V6 motor, and the guys had problems with the drivetrain on the cars. They kept buggering up the gearboxes with them. They just couldn't convert that power and get that right. So they weren't that successful, and it sort of cut that whole project in short. And as you said, Brett Stewart and Paul Shepherd had quite a bit of time in the World Series in those boats, but they didn't really shape. They just couldn't last the distance, and I think out of the whole season they only managed to finish one race, if I remember correctly. It was a while back. So it's good to see both the boats back in South Africa. John Ross is with us once again. John Ross, can you hear us this time?
Yes, I can hear you guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
But we've just been chatting in your absence about your boat, just telling the viewers what a unique situation it is, having been converted from an inboard back to an outboard again. Tell us how much work has gone into doing what you've done to the boat. Still looks like we've got a sound issue there. The joys of going live with the signal, the frogfoot problems that we have in the country at the moment. So let's have a look. We are live here. Comments have come through. So we'll get there quickly. Comments have come through. So we are live. We wanted to choke it. Yeah, we did. Stuart Hopwood saying, yeah, Mornay might be old, but certainly not cold. Well, he is the words I'm going to use, tenacious, nuggety type of competitor. He's just one of those pit bull type guys that will never give up and always in with a battle when Mornay is out on the water. And then we've got a message from that one came from Stuart Hopwood, and then Alec Pence is asking, he says it's going to be epic. Good luck, Ronan, and good luck to Keegan as well. So, and that's about it. Ronan Dixon's watching, Stuart Hopwood's watching. Great, the guys have joined us, and John Fraser as well, sharing it across. So nice to see that the guys are hooking up with us and watching the action. And I tell you what, wherever I go, people ask me, "Oh, I see Formula Ones are back on the water," and I'll just compliment you, Keegan. I know you and Ronan have been massively involved in getting boats back on the water, and have become the driving force of South African Formula One powerboat racing in the country, along with some other guys as well. And just compliments to what you guys are doing, and continue growing the series. It's fantastic to see guys start coming back. There are lots of boats around the country that we could see on the water, and we need to entice the guys like Ati Tromp, bring him back to racing as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, so I think for us, it's just mainly just obviously growing the sport and obviously getting everyone to join together, from a family perspective as well. It's a big adrenaline rush, and I've obviously been involved with this as Ronan, our whole life. So it's a big passion of ours. But it'd be great to see Ati back on the water. He's a great competitor. It's pretty difficult to try judge, so watching someone else's videos, because when obviously he hasn't raced for a while, so you always try to look at yourself and see, okay, cool, am I as quick as Ati was, But it's quite difficult, obviously, not having him around and obviously being able to make the judge, on the day. But phenomenal driver.
Yeah, your sound was breaking away there, but I did get the gist of what you were saying. Michael, we're going to end off with you racing alongside your dad as well. Fantastic to be able to be taking part in Formula One with your dad on the water as well.
Yeah, I was just giving my mom a hard time. But it's still fun, and I'm glad he can still share those things, and while he's still old enough, and cherish these moments. I mean, your parents aren't going to be around forever, right? So I think it is pretty special.
Great stuff. I think we're going to call it time on this episode of Motormouth. Guys, thanks very much. We look forward to catching you on Saturday. We'll see you. We'll be up there Friday, set up and that, and then look forward to catching up with you. We'll be doing the live stream from the event, so people all around the country can stay up to date with all of the action. But best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you guys performing out on the water. So go out there and give it horns.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you there.
Looking forward to it.
Well, folks, I do apologize about the quality issues once again. The internet is very, very unpredictable. But thanks for joining us. Next time you will probably hear my voice is from the alongside the Rynfield or Rynfield Dam in Benoni. From me, Bradley, it's goodbye until next time.
Okay,
Coach, that was